What was that saying again, man? Like, it's just right here, but I can't seem to remember what it was. A famous thing, something to do with the history. Come on. Chiellini, can you remind me again, please?
But Tottenham, it's the history of the Tottenham.
Thank you, Chiellini, bro. It is the history of the Tottenham, bro. Aye, listen. 2-0 up in that first half. 3-2 in the end to Brighton. We've got to talk about it, bro. And before we get into how Spursy of them it was to do what they did today, I want to give them credit, bro, because I've still not given them credit on this channel yet. And on this channel, we're very unbiased, bro. That biased shit is for TikTok only. So if you want me to be biased, go on TikTok, because that's where I do it. Tottenham Hotspur, since losing 1-0 to Arsenal in the North London derby, have been doing their thing, to be fair to them, man. 5-game winning streak, 13 goals scored in those 5, only 3 conceded, and Brennan Johnson has also been on fire, bro. And I think him getting bullied the way he did by Spurs fans and deactivating his social media might have contributed, bro. And if that's the case, please let us know, bro, so we can do that to Gabriel Jesus, because he needs that shit. All jokes aside, though, they were doing pretty well. Brighton, on the other hand, they weren't, bro. These guys were winless in the last 4 games, coming off the back end of just losing 4-2 to Chelsea, or should I say Cole Palmer. And it looked like in the first half of this game, they were about to make it 5 winless games in a row in the Premier League, because they did not have the answers for Spurs in that first half, man. Spurs were just better in every aspect, man. I mean, Brighton tried the high press, trying pressing them man-to-man. It didn't work. Spurs were just able to play through them with ease. They were creating chances. Solanke linking up everything in attack. And the first goal came from him with a beautiful through ball in behind the defence. And Johnson on his weak foot finishes it off nicely. And Johnson, like I said, he's been on fire, bro. That bullying that Spurs fans did clearly worked. Because let's keep it a buck. Is he really scoring that before he got bullied? I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. But I feel like bullying works on certain players because they just get this drive and this fire and hunger to want to prove the fans wrong that have bullied them, that are supposed to support them. And I feel like Johnson is one of those players, bro. Because since then, he's been on fire, bro. Even Werner was getting involved in the act, bro. It feels like forever since he got GA. But today he did pause it back simply to Maddison. He didn't really do too much for that goal, but he pulls it back to Maddison, who finishes it off nicely in the bottom corner. And at this point, Spurs are cruising, bro. It's nearly half time, and at this point I'm thinking Spurs are just going to wrap this game up. They're going to cruise control, and see the game out in that second half. Boy, was I wrong, bro. This game was the exact definition of a game of 2 halves. That first half, it was Brighton who had no idea what to do. The second half, it was Spurs who had no idea what to do, man. Within a couple of minutes of kickoff in our second half, Spurs are scrambling and Brighton get back into the game with a nice goal from Minter. Love to give the credit to Matoma for getting the assist, but really and truly, that was just horrific defending from Udogie, from Van der Ven. They both miskicked the ball, and then Minter's there to finish it off at the near post with a nice finish. And the second goal is just worse defensively, man. Stupinian feeds the ball to Mitoma, who gets past Bentancur, and as soon as you're through Bentancur, you're facing the Spurs defense straight away. Romero pulls out of position to try and tackle him. He can't. He feeds the ball into Gutta, who bodies Udogie, holds him off very well, and then puts the ball low and hard past the goalkeeper, past Van der Ven as well, who can't do anything about it. But genuinely, bro, all over the place defending from Spurs there, man. Everybody that was involved, very, very poor from them. The third goal from Welbeck, it just pure capitulation from Spurs, man. Within 20 minutes, the game has flipped on his head. And that is credit to Brighton as well, man, because they came out with such hunger, such fire in that second half. That third goal, honestly, if you're a Spurs fan, you should be infuriated with every single player involved in that play. I mean, a throw-in for Brighton, Udogie gets manhandled, let's Gutta get past him. Bentancur can't seem to get blocking. Gutta somehow keeps the ball in that seems to be getting away from him. Whoever's at that back post just lets Welbeck go into an area that's completely unmarked. And I'm looking at Romero especially because he's meant to be the physical defender. He's meant to be the captain, the leader. And he's meant to deal with those type of crosses mainly because he's very aggressive otherwise. But not today, bro. He was not aggressive enough. He didn't do anything to stop Welbeck. And Welbeck was basically an open net to head the ball into. Like I said, I don't know what was said at halftime in those dressing rooms. But it genuinely felt like Ange told his players to just relax, calm down, don't do too much work. Because none of them were trying anything in that second half. They didn't look like they were hungry. They didn't look like they wanted to win the game. Brighton, on the other hand, their manager grilled them. You can tell, bro. They came out with such burning passion to turn that game on its head and win it. And they did. The team that was more hungry, that was more driven, that wanted to win the game, won fair and square in the end, bro. Spurs, as good as you were in that first half, the way you came out in that second half, completely embarrassing, bro. And I know the Spurs fans are saying it's not Ange today, it's the players' fault for capitulating the way they did. They were 2-0 up. But I do feel like he made 2 mistakes. The first being the substitutions. He made them too late. How you letting Brighton, who just went 3-2 up, make subs before you, bro? You should be making those subs and being proactive instead of being reactive. And the second mistake, or something that I don't get or personally like, is why is he playing with 2 10s and Bentancur in midfield, bro? Like, there's certain games that you should know whether to play with 2 midfielders and a 10 or 2 10s and a midfielder. And today was not the ideal midfield that you wanted to go with. And also, I know how much easier it is to say this in hindsight, but sometimes you need to be pragmatic, bro. You need to have a pragmatic approach. And Ange is the furthest thing away from that. And that is one of my biggest pet peeves about him, bro. He's just way too arrogant and way too focused on his style of football or the highway, bro. There's no other way to do it but his way. And sometimes that can be so annoying to watch. I say that to say this. As soon as Ange saw the momentum shift as fast as it did in favour of Brighton, when he saw his team look so disorganised and so disoriented, that should have been a tell sign of when to be proactive and make changes, bro. And the great managers, they see those things before they happen and make the changes before they occur. As for Ange, he had the chance to be proactive before Brighton took the lead to make it 3-2. And instead, he reacted way too late, in my opinion. Of course, a lot of the blame is on the players, but I feel like the manager sometimes needs to help take the sting out of the game for players in order for them to be organised again. If you're seeing your team struggle, look so disoriented, you've got to make changes, bro. And the changes and the substitutions help them calm down a bit, help take the sting out of the game, and then hopefully it helps take the momentum out of Brighton as well. But instead, none of that occurred. No changes made. Brighton just rode that momentum non-stop until they were on top again. Like I said, majority of it is on the players, bro. They capitulated. Romero, the captain leadership was all over the place when his team needed him the most. Van der Ven, Maddison, another one that couldn't take the sting out of the game, control it and slow it down to a pace where they take the momentum away from Brighton. But it is what it is, man. Brighton get a win. And let's talk about Brighton because I feel like they deserve some respect. Welbeck, who gets the winner, has been on fire at the start of this season. He's been getting the goals Brighton need. And because of that crazy momentum shift and the Welbeck winner, Brighton end up in 6th with 12 points going into the international break, while Spurs, on the other hand, with their capitulation, end up in 9th with 10 points going into the international break. And I feel like you don't want to be the team that loses in that fashion going into the international break because it's going to be on those players' minds for 2 weeks. And as soon as they come back, they're still going to be thinking about how they lost the last Premier League game. And after this result, that 4th spot is open to anybody. And Chelsea, I'm looking at you, bro. You should be the ones to take that 4th spot with the way Spurs are moving, with the way Manchester United are moving currently. But yeah, that's it for today. I appreciate you watching until the end. If you did and listen, if you're still here, comment, like, subscribe, all of that. And I catch you in the next video. Peace.